All right, welcome back to the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast, recording at you live from Bulgaria. I'm Zach.
Bulgaria. It is a beautiful Austrian-German
Castle, essentially.
castle place.
But that means we watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yes, we
Released in 1968, directed by Ken Hughes, starring Dick Van Dyke, Sally Ann Howells, and Lionel Jeffries.
Lionel Jeffries?
Lionel Jeffries.
Oh, was he the father, the grandfather?
I think so.
Okay.
I always just go off top
He
build
wasn't
cast.
Goldfinger.
No, he wasn't Goldfinger.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay,
yeah.
so here's the thing. Here's the thing you have to know about this podcast is that we are coming off hot. We just not hot. We just watched it. Literally, the credits just got done rolling.
We just watched the exit music, as
the
they said.
exit music of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Wow. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, and I know you have never seen this movie.
I don't believe I've ever seen
it. This was a good, wholesome movie that I never would have shown you. I took you to movies like Redline.
Yeah, Redline. You showed me The Matrix when I was in first grade.
James Bond movies.
James Bond.
pretty
I,
awful.
Robot.
Yeah. Probably. Oh, Terminator.
Terminator
yeah,
too.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Really scarred you
Yes,
there.
this was a wholesome family movie, so of course you didn't take us to see this one.
Of course not. But so my take on the movie is it's obviously a very fun movie. I mean, it's fun for me to watch now and go back. I have a lot of memories. I loved the car in this movie, of course, because it could do everything. It could fly. It could float. Is this super car. It wasn't really, even as a kid, I didn't really like the singing and all that crap, in the movie.
I hate musicals. There's only one musical I actually
don't
like.
sugarcoat it.
No, I mean, that's the truth. It's all this stuff could be, okay. The reason I hate musicals is, first of all this stuff could easily be summed up to 3 lines of dialogue.
Right, exactly.
Second of all, there's I hate when there's suspense in a movie or something important going on, and they just stop and start singing.
Sure.
Like in this movie,
sure. I do that every day.
Literally children in cages.
But it's a pretty scary movie for kids, actually, and it's a pretty weird
There's
movie.
literally kids in cages, and there's like an 18-minute song. It's like, can we help the kids in the cage?
No,
they're suffering. Like imagine if you were in a car accident and like the ambulance shows up and the paramedics come out and they do a song and dance. It's like, hey, my steering wheel's inside of me. Can we expedite this process a little bit?
Right.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm coming off too
much. No,
this is also the latest we've ever done a podcast.
It's very late at night.
10:19 at night.
Well,
and
late for me because I'm an old man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go to bed. So this might be there might be some hard feelings in this.
If all of a sudden you don't hear one of us, we've actually fallen asleep. So
if the line just goes dead, if you're looking at this podcast and thinking, "Wow, 18 hours of recording," it's gonna be like an hour of talking, and then we just fell asleep.
Nothing. You'll hear the furnace in the background.
Yeah, that'll be it.
The Bulgarian furnace.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So I didn't realize that this was actually in a fictional place.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that they were saying Bulgaria, which is a real place.
Right.
Nope.
No,
not
it's
at all.
Bulgaria.
Which I guess makes sense because they really painted the town in a very poor light.
Yeah, it was a very, very scary, very German kind of, Yeah. It was a very crazy place, but yeah.
Very convoluted plot.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. The idea of it, if you think about it, is
but I
fantasy.
There was a lot going on. Also, getting it back towards cars.
Yeah,
heavy emphasis on the car first half of the movie.
Yes,
and then not. They just gave up on the car concept.
That is true.
It flew. It turned into a boat.
Yep,
and
it was
great.
awesome.
And then the king was like, "I need that car.
Yeah.
Give me that car. I need a car." Whatever happened with the car that the king was trying to build in 24 hours that could fly?
Well, it fell apart, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it fell apart. So, that was a no-go on that one. That was like most of my resto projects.
Yeah.
So no, it was You're right. All of a sudden, like, the car disappeared. Like, what happened to the car?
It was
that whole
no
time?
longer a plot point until the
Right.
very end, where the car rolls in and rescues them.
Right. Exactly.
But besides that, like, the reason I bring that up is that the movie starts off with like 20 minutes of French Grand Prix,
right,
showing that the car used to be a race car,
right,
and then it was in disarray, and it was bought for the 30 shillings or whatever.
Yes, 30 shillings. We'll talk about that. Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like it was so car heavy, and then after the intermission. There was actually an intermission in this movie.
In the DVD that we watched. So we own the DVD.
Right, yeah. There was an intermission.
Yeah, and I remember buying this DVD, and there's a bunch of reasons why I bought the DVD. But yes, so there's actually an intermission in the DVD and an actual cliffhanger, an actual true cliffhanger.
Yeah, the car drives off a cliff
right,
and then goes to intermission.
All the kids, right.
Which they left the intermission in.
Oh, that's true.
Like,
well, in the DVD, they left the intermission in.
It wasn't like, hey, intermission, and then it kept going. It was like, hey, intermission,
and some
get up
music
and walk
plays
around.
Right. Yeah, it's like, okay, you don't really need that for a DVD.
Yeah,
nowadays,
for a DVD
so.
release, I feel like you could leave the intermission out.
Yeah. I think we should just put an intermission in our podcast.
Yeah. And just music playing in the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
just do that.
You know, some of these podcasts are getting kind of long.
No, that's what
maybe viewers would need that.
We might need that so you can go to the bathroom or something. Yeah.
But
how did you feel about this?
Well, first of all, we know my feelings on musicals. We know this. And going forward, if you make me watch another musical.
Again, we talked about Blues Brothers actually was a musical, kind of. I mean, it's the producer-director, the director, I believe, said it was a musical. But
I definitely feel like there's an argument there for Blues Brothers being a musical. And I totally get it. Yeah. But, like, to me, I don't know. Like, I
don't like musicals.
Well, like, I wouldn't describe Blues Brothers as a musical to someone.
I know.
Because, like, the You Gotta Think, part.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a song beforehand?
Oh, it was, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
so like, no, Mamma Mia is definitely a musical.
Yeah. There's a lot of no, I rarely watch or would have you watch any musicals, and very few musicals that I know of about cars.
Yeah, because the Broadway, 9 times out of 10, a musical has a Broadway production as well.
Yes.
And Cars in a Broadway production just doesn't really work.
Right.
Unless they're either A, cardboard cutouts,
right.
B,
and
not
that happens,
powered by anything.
Right. And that does happen.
And it does happen. Or C, they just want to gas out the audience. It'll be interesting with electric car technology if like Broadway starts having electric vehicles.
They could easily. I mean,
in their productions
now they could probably have just like a golf cart, electric golf cart.
I guess there probably also isn't a ton of space to drive.
No,
I didn't think about that. Or the weight of a Tesla on a wooden stage.
They're pretty
that
strong
high schoolers
stages.
built.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's true. I don't think many high schools are going to have that. But, you might have an electric, like a golf cart or whatever. But, yes. So, no, there's not a lot of musicals that are car movies. And so this was definitely a rare movie. In a lot of ways, it was a rare movie.
Hopefully our first and last musical.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Okay.
I think it will be our last musical.
I guess not our first if we're counting Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers, yeah. That was the first. But, no, so this movie actually has a lot of tie-ins with James Bond. Do you want me to just start at the top?
Yeah, just go for it. Go for it.
So,
I know you're itching to go.
That is the reason why, because I'm a big James Bond fan. And one of the reasons why I wanted to actually buy this movie was to really look at all of the similarities between this movie and James Bond. So if you were to say to me, what does Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and James Bond have in common, I could tell you a whole bunch. And it's going to start with Ian Fleming, who is the writer who wrote the story Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So Ian Fleming wrote all of the James Bond movies, all of the James Bond books.
Pause for a second.
All right.
How many James Bond books are there?
I don't know.
Okay. Cool.
I really, I don't know. Actually, your brother Nick would know about that because he read all
Well,
of them,
I've
but
always
yeah.
wondered, is there a James Bond book for every movie?
No.
Okay, so there have been movies that are not books.
Yes.
Okay.
So because they kind of ran out, I think there was like 13. I want to say there was 13 books. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, and I'm glad I'm not being recorded.
There's what, 300 movies? Feels
I
like
think
it.
there's like 25 movies.
Oh wow, that's more than I thought.
Yes. So I believe there's 25. I'd have to count all those, but so in fact I could count them because we have them. But the thing about them is that yes, there's more. So Ian Fleming wrote the James Bond novels. He also wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So you'd say, wow, okay, that's an interesting, that's kind of interesting that, okay, I see where you're making the connection between the two, but it goes farther.
Wow, there's layers here.
There's layers.
It's like a 5-layer dip.
That's right.
All right, go deeper. Go ahead.
And it's delicious. So the other part about it is it was actually, I believe, produced. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was produced by Albert Cubby Broccoli. So he's the one who actually was the producer for the James Bond movies. By the way, you look really tired. You look like
I'm
you're
super tired.
You look like you're about to
I'm
fall
super
asleep.
tired. Don't you
I'll
worry.
just throw something at you. If you
Well, I
fall
just
asleep.
watched a musical.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if I want to fall asleep or just blow my brains out.
Wow.
It wasn't that bad,
No.
but
And so
yeah, go on with your Ian Fleming stuff.
okay, so Ian Fleming wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and he wrote the James Bond novels. Albert Broccoli.
Our sub pump emptying was more exciting than Chitty Chitty
Thank
Bang
you.
Bang. But go on.
Wow. And so Albert Broccoli produced Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and 3 years prior to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, he produced Goldfinger. Okay? Reason why that's really important is because there are a couple people in the movie in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang that were also in Goldfinger. One of which was the guy who plays Q.
For 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, he
Did
wasn't in the very
he
long.
never came back in the movie, did he?
He doesn't come back in the movie. He only has one little thing that he does.
Yeah, he sells the car.
He sells the car, which is interesting because he explains the car to the kids just like he does with James Bond.
Yeah,
and
that was
explains the
funny
car.
where he was like,
He
you
explains
see this
the car.
007?
Right. It's like, all right, now pay attention.
These are anti-vehicle grenades.
Right.
Or whatever, smoke screen or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right. So now you have him. Now you also have the main bad guy in the movie who is who? What?
Heil.
Heidel.
Heil.
Heidel.
What's his name?
No, his name is.
I was alluding to the fact that he used to be a Nazi that we
Heil.
learned. Heil, you know.
Okay.
Wiener Schnitzel or whatever.
Wiener Schnitzel. Yes.
What's his name? Flubber?
In this movie,
Shout
I
out
think
Robin
he's
Williams.
like.
What's the actor's name? Do we remember?
The actor's name is not our standard call out name.
Oh yeah, Craig Lieberman. Shout out.
Craig Lieberman.
Shout out.
Lieberman.
I was. Yeah.
So Craig Lieberman. Anyway, it's kind of the Craig Lieberman show.
It is the Craig Lieberman show. I was going to shout out Craig Lieberman when we talk about the cars. I feel like he would have had a better selection.
All right, yeah.
Than the weird, obscure automobiles we saw. But go on.
Yep. So, second thing is that the bad guy is played by the same actor who played Goldfinger.
Yeah.
The bad guy, or Goldfinger.
Gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Not much range. Not much range. He pretty much plays the same exact person as Goldfinger. He's a spoiled brat of a leader and has these henchmen.
Yeah.
And
see the similarities.
he's obsessed in this movie. He's obsessed with toys and candy and food. And in Goldfinger, he's obsessed with gold, obviously.
Yes.
So
you've got that.
Right.
Then you also have there's in this movie, you have a fantastic car that does amazing things, just like in Goldfinger,
like the DB5,
just like the Aston Martin DB5, which you were the one who pointed this out, has an ejector seat.
Oh yeah, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and the DB5 both have ejector seats.
Yes, exactly. So the similarities, there's a whole bunch of them here.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really cool, and the fact that there's so many things that crossed over. And Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was made after, would you say 68?
Yeah, so Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was 68.
Yes.
Dr. No, I think was 60. Oh, wait. No, Goldfinger was 64.
Goldfinger was 64.
Goldfinger was 64. Yeah, you're right.
So,
Dr. No, I think was 61.
It probably.
Okay.
That was the
But
first
go
one.
on.
Albert Broccoli knew all of these people and put all this stuff in there.
Right.
So it really was this fun kind of crossover to a totally different story, and yet kind of fantastic. And there's a really bad guy and all that stuff.
I thought it was really interesting that Ian Fleming wrote
and
this.
the other thing, yeah.
Oh, go on.
The one other thing that's in the connection is the name of the female lead.
Yes, we were talking about that.
Yes,
they're always very descriptive names.
Yes. So in Goldfinger, you had Pussy Galore, right? That was like a really just
blatantly out there, overly sexual name.
Right. And in this movie, the name of the female lead is Truly Scrumptious. That is her name.
And her dad owns a candy factory.
And her dad owns a candy factory. So very innocent, but at the same time, if you had a James Bond character that was truly scrumptious, that would have been like
it would fit in. It would fit in.
Yeah. So very interesting that they had that in both of those. But that's kind of where the similarities are.
So that must be an Ian Fleming thing, since he wrote
maybe
he must have this just naming
maybe
I guess thing in his head.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what else Ian Fleming ever wrote. Because I feel like the range, besides the similarities that you just said, the range between this family musical and James Bond, where he's shooting people and killing people for money, or not for money, but well, he's not a hitman, but you know what I mean. It's a very different kind of.
There was a lot of shooting and killing in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I don't think there was. I think we watched very different movies. If that was the case,
no,
which I'd be appalled at because you sat next to me this whole time. So
that is true. That we talked about the fact that if the main character in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang actually had a weapon, it would have ended very quickly.
It would have been a 40-minute movie. He would have built the car, and then when the grandpa got kidnapped, just be like, pow, pow.
Yeah, pow, pow, bang, done.
Also, all of the guards in the castle had guns.
Incompetent.
I don't think they used a single gun.
No. And then we also talked about the idea of the fact of how could you outlaw children. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, that makes zero sense. Yeah. Although I was thinking about it, there is a movie. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But there's a movie about where it's illegal to get pregnant.
Oh, is that the last man on Earth or something?
Maybe it's like an early 2000s movie.
Yeah.
And I just remember I watched a film breakdown of it because it's one long continuous shot inside of this car. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Okay,
it's a minivan in the UK, and they get ambushed, and it's like a 5 or 6 minute continuous shot inside this minivan, and it keeps spinning.
What?
And it's just a really incredible shot.
Is this a dream you had, or was this an actual movie?
Dream. I chugged a bottle of NyQuil, and then this is what I came up. No,
okay.
Man, I can't remember the name of the movie. Anyway, it was this big VFX breakdown thing of back in the day I used to watch Film Riot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think they did a breakdown of it, or someone did a breakdown of it, where it's this 5 minute continuous shot that's nearly impossible of how they could have gotten. Someone had to lay down on the floor of this minivan.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, I do know what you're talking
about.
Because
they're shooting out the front window, and you see these people come down from the hills, and then it spins around, and then someone gets shot in the van, and they're backing it up so the camera spins.
Yes, I remember the backing up part about that whole thing, and yes, that is an amazing shot. There's been a lot of movies where I actually look at the cinematography and I go, wow, how did they do that?
Yeah.
That was really cool.
There was a couple shots in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang where it was impressive for 1968.
Yes.
The crane shot of her walking over the bridge and then she comes down.
Right.
They must, how did they get over the water? It must have been some type of crane or...
Yeah. It
Something
really
of the
did.
sort.
It really did, and the fact that I always look this is just me, but in movies I always look for reflections. I always look at anything that's reflective.
I'm telling you, I saw the camera in
you
that
probably
mirror
did.
shot.
You probably did. There's a lot of mirrors, and also the hood of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the car is like chrome. I mean, it is like shiny like a mirror.
That's a big issue in filming cars.
Oh, yeah.
Is
I'm
the
sure
reflection
for what you do, yeah.
of the camera. I mean, if you look at my reviews, you can. It's not very noticeable.
Yeah.
But if you look, it's there. I'm in all the reflections. You see me like getting all these camera shots. But something interesting is that there's a big car reviewer. His name's Doug DeMiro.
Yeah.
He actually reviewed a like $500,000 camera car.
Oh yeah.
And it's a Porsche Cayenne with a giant crane on top.
Oh yeah,
and
those are cool.
There's like an operator in the back and stuff,
Right.
but it was matte black, the car, and they actually had matte black covers for the headlights that they would pop on.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, I mean, it looks cool, but like I don't know why they did that.
Yeah.
It's for the reflections.
Yeah, exactly.
So the vehicle was completely matte black. They even covered up the headlights for filming.
Yeah.
And the head or the taillights I don't think worked. And they covered it up completely with the same matte black vinyl. So like the reflections in the cars aren't noticeable.
Well,
it just looks like a black speck and not,
yes,
a different color.
And nowadays with technology, you can CGI out reflections. And a lot of times they do. But
I actually learned something. Through TikTok, so take this with a grain of salt.
The ticks and the talks.
Yeah, the ticks and the talks.
You kids and your ticks and talks.
This involves James Bond.
Okay, well, I'm listening now.
I don't remember if it was Casino Royale or Skyfall.
Yeah, could be.
But there's a shot. Which one has James Bond has a gun that can only be fired when he has it. It reads his palm. Do you know which movie that is? James Bond aficionado.
There's a couple, actually. There's actually a couple.
So it was a new one. Like it would have been like Casino Royale or Skyfall. It's Daniel Craig.
All right, so probably I'm guessing Skyfall. I don't know.
Okay.
I actually
sure. We'll run with it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's pretend.
But so basically, Daniel Craig, the actor.
Yep.
They were on set in England or whatever, and he like just went to this like mom and pop shop or whatever and found these cool leather gloves. And he talked to the director and was like, "Hey, can I wear these leather gloves in this scene?
Yeah,
like they look cool." And the director was like, "Yeah, sure, totally. Like, it fits with Bond, cool leather gloves." But the issue came after they filmed it. This is like months later, and when they're in post production.
Yeah,
the gun that he's using in that scene can only be fired by James Bond,
right?
Because it reads his palm.
Yes.
So the whole scene, he has gloves on, which would make it impossible for that gun to fire. So they CGI'd hands over his gloves for the entire scene.
They did?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to go back and figure this out. And
now, this is like
movie
third-hand trivia because I got it off of TikTok.
Okay.
But I saved it. I'll send you the video.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to
But
take
I
a
thought
look
that
at
was interesting. I learned. And I was like, man, what poor intern was like, hey, the producer comes in and is like, hey, Steve, you got to remake Daniel Craig's hands and put it over it for every single frame of this shot.
Yeah.
That's just a bad day.
Yeah. I don't think that they should have used the gorilla hands like they used, but I think because it was very different. I
don't know why they decided to use the Hulk smash hands that you used to get at Toys R Us.
Hulk smash.
Those like big foam ones.
Exactly.
But, it was a creative choice. You couldn't even see the gun anymore.
It wasn't very realistic. No, it wasn't. I'm going to have to look back. I feel really terrible. I think it actually was the first. I think it was the first movie.
You know what? Why don't I just
All right, why don't you look at it? It was probably the first movie that Daniel Craig was in, which was Casino Royale, but I'm not sure. Could have been.
I think it was Skyfall? Casino Royale.
Okay.
I don't want to blast
because I think the new Q is the one who gives him basically the gun and like a walkie-talkie, and that's like the high-tech stuff.
God, I have so many stupid TikToks saved. They're just, it's terrible humor
You know,
in here.
yeah. And I've never ever been on TikTok. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's the
is.
thing. It I feel old on TikTok.
Wow.
TikTok
All right,
is like an enigma. It is weird.
Really?
Also, yeah. Oh, there's so many good TikToks I should send you. But
all right.
yeah. See, I'm not finding it. I'll find it later. I'm under pressure. I'm scared.
No, that's.
I'm
that's
nervous.
Okay. I mean, I can talk more about Chitty Chitty Bang Bang if you want.
Well, yeah. Let's get back to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I didn't like it, obviously. I like.
That's perfectly fine. There's no reason why you should love this movie.
Here's the thing.
You don't like Dick Van Dyke.
I don't. You know what? There's some trivia in here that made me genuinely laugh out loud about Dick Van Dyke.
Really?
So I kind of respect him a little bit more.
Okay, good.
Although everyone said he was really annoying to work with.
Really?
And he requested changes to the script like a lot.
Oh.
And what was the other thing I was? He wouldn't do a British accent.
Right, that's what you
mentioned that with which I told him that at the beginning of the movie when we started watching, and I was like, oh, he didn't want to do a British accent.
Right.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right.
His kids have British accents.
Right. His
dad has British accent.
Right.
Everyone has a British accent in the movie except for Dick Van Dyke. So at that point, I was like, oh, maybe this does kind of matter. Like, I don't know, that little thing kind of pulled me out of the movie.
Yeah, and like you said, really, the movie, even in the story and all that, it does wander around quite a bit, and
it's too long.
It's way too long, and it takes away from the idea of this magical car.
Mm-hmm.
I think the magical car, they should have done more with that. They really should have
done more with the car. I mean, that's probably super biased of a car person, but they should have done more with the car. Car should have gotten more screen time.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because they just hyped up this car so much.
Right.
Like I said, there was like 15 minutes of Grand Prix at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then the kids make, oh, Dad, can we please get the car? And then
for 30 shillings.
For 30 shillings, which is what, 168 American dollars?
It's 168. It's equivalent to, right now, $168.
Right.
So, in other words, it costs them $168 to get that car, which he gets the money by doing a song and dance at a circus.
I was going to say, well, first of all, he almost cuts a guy's head off with an automatic haircut machine.
Right, exactly.
And then as he's trying to escape the haircut machine, he just joins a song and dance.
Because I've done that. I've gone out to Walmart and I was going to get something, and then I just joined a song and dance troupe.
And then he doesn't make the money by being in the group.
No, he doesn't.
He makes the money off of people throwing coins at
people
him.
throw coins. So $168
were literally just thrown at him.
Yeah,
that's
which is pretty awesome.
That's more than my weekly wages when I worked at Jiffy Lube.
I mean, that's a good amount of money being thrown.
Yeah.
Now, and they do show like one other guy giving him his money, that the tips that people threw at him. But, $168, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Plus, so he got the $168. He got the 30 shillings.
Yes.
Buys the car, and then, fixes it up, A, in a couple of days, and B, where did he get the extra money? If he didn't have the money for the car, I doubt he's dropping money on braided brake lines and stainless steel headers. Well, they're actually copper headers, which is so stupid to have a copper headers for exhaust.
Well, that actually, now that I think about it, I never thought about that, but now that is so fakey. That is so...
Heaven forbid they get any type of warm and start molding again.
Exactly.
I mean,
that is like copper.
Yeah.
That is the worst possible.
I mean, there's a reason we don't currently make cars out of copper.
Well, copper headers or exhaust.
Yeah, exhaust. Like,
I mean, of anything. Yeah, you could have some, obviously you have copper parts.
I get the whole fantasy of this movie.
Yeah.
I wish we saw the car more.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? Spoiler alert. Which, you're already far into it. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying that.
We should start that every time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it already, or you want to see it, this podcast should be listened to right after you watch the movie.
Yes,
that's why I put them out on Saturdays, is because my thought process is someone will say, "Oh, they watch Blues Brothers. I'm going to watch Blues Brothers today, and then I'll listen to the podcast afterwards."
Yeah. So movie studios should pay us because
100%,
because we're getting people to watch the movies.
We should definitely get royalties, but it's fine.
Yes.
But at the end of the movie, it was just all a story.
Yeah.
They're still back sitting on the beach.
Yeah.
In their car that doesn't transform.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't do anything.
Although, does it transform? Because then the
doesn't.
very ending shot of the movie, it's going up into space, but it doesn't have wings when it goes up into space.
That's very true.
So
very true.
It's kind of like Inception. You can kind of leave it open.
I think they were both high. I think they were both.
They're high as kites. Candy makers? Yeah, okay. Yeah, girls on some type of rocks, I tell you what.
Exactly. I think, which also is very funny because it reminds me, the end of that movie reminds me of the end of Grease. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Grease.
You know what? I haven't. That might be a movie we should do.
No.
No?
It's a musical.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to watch a musical.
Loving, have me a blast.
Yeah, exactly.
There
is a cool car in there, though. Grease Lightning.
Grease Lightning is the car.
Yeah.
Isn't the movie named after the car?
No.
Grease?
No. Grease was, I think that was named after, like, hair grease. You know, there was a lot of hair gel and
All I know is that John Travolta now owns 2 747 airplanes.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine getting that level.
Yeah.
What?
I know. I understand that.
So I can't watch any old John Travolta stuff and not think, this dude has 2 747s. To do what with?
Well,
you can't fly in both of them. Like, what, does he have a West Coast and an East Coast plane?
It's a parts plane.
Oh,
he uses it for parts.
Now I fully understand that one.
He's got a parts car.
We've all got parts cars.
Parts car, yeah, exactly. It's a parts plane.
American Graffiti's another.
Yeah.
Is that a movie?
It
American
is.
Graffiti
but there's a lot of cars in that.
Yeah,
movie,
we should definitely watch it.
But that would be good.
It's
Definitely that's definitely not a musical. But getting back to that idea of the end of the movie in Grease, they're driving away in Grease Lightning. Okay, spoiler. Yes. Wow.
Spoiler.
Yeah, you should just know. In this,
this is just like one long spoiler alert.
Yeah, it is just all spoiler.
But sorry, go on. At the
end of the Grease, as we all know, the two characters, Johnny and Sandra or whatever his name is,
nailed it.
Did I?
I have no idea.
No, I know it's Sandra.
I thought it was Sandy, but
Sandy, fine, Sandy.
Sandy and John Travolta.
Sandy and John Travolta get in the car, Grease Lightning, and they're driving away, and they'll always be together.
Yeah.
Okay, and as they're driving away, the car magically lifts into the air.
Oh, really?
Yes, exactly as it did at the end of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which was done way before Grease. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is there's a connection there. But it is like the same ending, and it's bizarre. I mean, like, who is that like a thing for movie makers to go, I don't know how
the car just flies off into oblivion at the end? Like,
why didn't they do that with, Fast and Furious? Why didn't a car just fly off?
Well, an argument can be made that they did do it with Paul Walker in the 7th one, but
okay,
we'll get onto that later.
Yeah,
it doesn't fly away, but it's the same concept.
It's the same concept where your car goes away.
Again.
Okay, so those songs sound familiar.
Why?
Well, when we see again, and then we'll always be together. The Grease. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
So talk about sidetracks here.
Yeah.
We've sidetracked.
Should we get onto the car?
Sure. Let's
Chitty Chitty
let's
Bang
talk
Bang?
about the
First
actual
of all,
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
No identifiable cars in this movie.
Really? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We were talking about the.
Let's do a podcast about unidentifiable cars. That's great. Excellent.
So, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was actually based off of 4 race cars by the same name. They were iterations of the same race car. So, back in the actual early 1900s, there was a race car called the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
No.
Yes. And it was a Mercedes chassis with an aircraft engine.
Oh.
So the first Chitty Chitty Bang Bang had an 18.8 liter aircraft engine.
18.8 liter.
By the the 4th generation, it had the largest engine to ever compete in the whatever race they were competing in France. Not Tour de France.
Yeah.
27-liter engine. A 27-liter engine.
Well, that's like, that's just well. You were the one who pointed out the size of this car is enormous.
Yes,
it really the whole front end is
one of the
filled with
trivias.
engine, yeah.
The enormous car was 17 feet long.
Jeez,
and weighed over 2 tons.
Oh my God!
So
4,000 pounds.
To put this into perspective,
yeah,
it's about the length of our long bed pickup truck that we had.
Yes.
Which was, I think, 18 feet.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And weighs about as much as a brand new Dodge Challenger.
Wow. That's a big car.
Dodge Challengers are like, they get nicknamed like boats. Like everyone makes fun of them. Like every spring the meme goes around hey, Challenger owners, don't forget to get your boating license renewed. Because those things, they're so stupidly heavy. Everyone's like, oh, the Hellcat makes 700 horsepower. Yeah, it literally weighs 4,300 pounds. Like, it needs 700 horsepower to get going.
Yeah.
So, still, huge vehicle.
That is
the
a
Chitty
very,
Chitty Bang
very
Bang
long,
is a
very
huge car.
large car. Yeah.
Other than that, for filming, it had a Ford V6 in it. But it wasn't, they didn't, like, take a car and, like, add headlights to it. Like, it was a completely custom chassis.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a completely custom car.
Yeah, because, it looked like a lot of different cars of that era, but it was very...
It definitely had accents. The wheels looked very Model A, Model T.
Right.
Like, the headlights looked very Cadillac, like, very, like...
Well,
everything was...
Yeah, and you pointed out, too, which I found fascinating about the tire, the wheel.
Right, so the spare tire,
mm-hmm.
which is this was very typical of the 1900s, like 19-teens and 1920s, but we didn't really see it much after that, was the spare tire on the side of the car.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any spokes.
Right.
It's just the outer rim and a new tire.
Which I thought was interesting, but yeah.
So back in the day when wheels used to be wooden,
mm-hmm.
the spokes would actually bolt onto, because the rim was metal. The rim was always metal.
Right.
And the wooden spokes would bolt into that metal rim. So you didn't need a full spare tire. You just needed the tire on the rim, and you would unbolt it from the spokes and then bolt on the outer rim.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. That whole concept is just really crazy.
Yes, but like still to this day, people buy 3-piece wheels that are held together. It's an actual rim, and then there's an outside, or there's like a, I don't even know, like the spokes are separate
mm-hmm.
from the rim.
Okay.
But nowadays it has like 35 bolts going around the outside.
Okay.
Those are like show wheels.
Gotcha.
And like you're supposed to be able to, you can switch the faces of them if you want to switch it up, but then you don't have to get new barrels, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay.
So,
yeah,
this was very typical of the 1920s, the 19-teens, 1900s, was the fact that the spare tires were just that. They were just spare tires, not full wheels.
Yeah, very interesting, though. And both cars, the car that Truly Scrumptious drives.
Right.
Which, do you remember what...
Ooh, I don't have it offhand.
I want to say it's like the Bumbler, or it's the...
Humble? Oh, wait, I have it here. Hold on.
Okay.
The Humber. Humber.
Humber.
A 1909 Humber 8-horsepower replica, it says.
Okay. Which was amazing to me. I that car actually was very cool, and the steering wheel on that car
only had one spoke.
One spoke on the steering wheel, so not even like two. Yeah. To span across.
Which we saw one-spoke steering wheels in a handful of like concept cars.
Yeah.
Like 90s, 80s concept cars. Like, mm-hmm. It was cool to have one spoke.
Yeah.
But back in the day, back 1909, there's no that steering wheel had to be flexing.
It had to be.
There's no way.
Yeah. And also, it had the propensity to drive into lakes, the same pond.
Oh, my God, this lady drove into the same lake.
I know that annoyed you very much.
Because it was the same lake.
Yeah, same pond.
How? But here's the other thing that pissed me off.
Mm-hmm.
The first time she drives into the lake, she throws it in reverse.
Oh yeah,
and
very easily.
drives right out.
Oh yeah.
But the second 2 times, she's like, "Oh no, oh no, I'm stuck in the lake."
Yeah, it's
Girl,
true.
You just did it. Like I just watched you do it 14 minutes ago.
Right.
You can do it.
Right.
And
yeah,
the car was never like beached or anything. Like
No.
it was still above
No, it was
water.
very-
It's just
yeah.
the tires were
Right.
wet. She pulled into a puddle 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times, exactly the same puddle.
And then she never said thank you when the guy carried her out.
No.
And like he's getting all wet in the puddle, and she's like, "Oh, I can't get my dress wet."
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, learn. Swerve literally anywhere. Swerve anywhere.
Well, what's funny too is that in the footage of the car race in the very beginning, when they show, for the longest time they showed Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in the races and all these different races. When it crashes, first of all, it bizarrely goes over a cliff that suddenly is there.
I think,
but also when it actually goes through that railing, it makes a pavement, like a brake on pavement squealing sound, and it's on dirt.
Yeah.
And that is a common thing with car movies. Even actually the first James Bond movie, there are several scenes where he's in a car on a dirt road and you hear cars squealing on pavement.
I guess,
and it's just really...
I mean, to me it sounds like common sense, but I guess people don't realize that the squealing is not coming from the car.
Right.
It's the rubber on pavement.
Yes.
Which I remember reading a How It's Done movie book when I was a kid.
Okay.
And that's done by heating up a water bottle, like a plastic bottle, and like rubbing it on another one.
Yeah,
to make the tire squealing noise.
Yeah, I mean it absolutely can be a lot of those things. That was the whole Foley, Foley, Foley artist thing, where they would actually recreate in the studio these sounds. A lot of times, like if they had someone breaking someone else's limb, they would use a stalk of celery.
I was gonna say, celery, yeah.
So that kind of stuff is very cool, but a lot, later on, sound effect libraries came out, and nowadays you can get any sound effect you want.
I think
iMovie
has a couple different tire squealing noises.
Right, and so you've got the car squealing noise, but you'll see it a lot. So next time you watch a movie with cars in it, watch and see, especially if they're on a dirt or even gravel road, and you hear the car squealing. It happened a lot in movies in the 30s and 40s. One of the things, too, I found was very funny in The Untouchables, which is kind of a car movie. Kind of, maybe a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
I just like to make that connection.
Yeah.
But in that movie...
Sorry, I'm so tired. I thought you meant The Incredibles. I was like, I mean, Mr. Incredible has that like transforming car. I mean, like, I guess.
And it's not the Expendables.
That's the other thing I thought too, and I was okay.
No, it's not that. It's the Untouchables.
With Kevin Costner.
With Kevin Costner in that movie.
And Kevin Costner only.
That's him. It's the only. He plays every.
It's like a Big Mama's House where he plays every role.
He plays every role. People don't know that Kevin Costner played every role in The Untouchables.
Kevin Costner actually gained 3,000 pounds to play the Model A that he actually drove in that movie.
It's very. It's very bizarre.
It was his toughest role yet.
Yeah, exactly. But he's a good actor.
Yeah.
It shows his range. So there is a scene where there's a speeding Model A, and it comes up to him, and it's at night, and he's trying to get his wife and kids out of the wife and daughter out of the city, and the car comes up and it squeals to a stop, and from driving our car. Now, yes, you can, if the brakes are calibrated properly in a Model A, you can get them to squeal, but it's rare.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get a car like that to squeal, especially when the streets are wet, and in that scene they were wet.
Right.
But anyway, that goes to the whole idea of when you watch a car movie, listen for the tire squeals and all that stuff.
That would almost be interesting to do a whole podcast on, because I think we touched on it with the Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
But the RX-7 noises in Fast and Furious
were
2JZ noises.
Right.
They were straight 6 noises, which anyone who's ever worked on a rotary, seen a rotary, heard a rotary knows that they sound very different.
Very, very, very different sound. I mean, yeah.
So the Foley work is very interesting, and I did not catch that he's squealing the brakes on dirt. I didn't even think of that.
For some reason now, and it's going to be like that thing that
you're gonna
always
start pointing out.
I always watch it I always watch for it in movies, and hopefully other people will too now and look for it, because it is something that's very evident when you think about it. Whenever I see a car, especially when it's on a dirt road, and then it's all of a sudden, oh, there's some brake squealing noises. No, it's not. Yeah, it's not the car. You're right. It's not the car. It's the rubber hitting the road.
Right.
That's what's making that sound. So, yeah.
I think we can chalk this one up to not being super accurate. This as a
realistic
film, with the whole band children and flying car.
Yeah.
And
well, there's that
outhouse that somehow stayed together even though it was carried hundreds of miles by balloon.
Yeah, it's so that
it's a well-built outhouse. I give
you.
whoever built that credit.
Well, and I believe, and they actually, Dick Van Dyke's character,
Sure.
Yeah.
They say it twice for good reason.
Yeah.
No one wants to say that.
Yeah. Cataractus or
cataract. He has cataracts.
Carcaticus.
Yeah, trivia. He actually did the whole movie with cataracts. He couldn't see anything.
Well,
he was like a 15-year-old cat.
Which is interesting, because you said that the actor who plays his dad was actually younger than Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, by like 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's called acting. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, very interesting about that outhouse. That I believe it was an outhouse, but he calls it his dad's hut. But it's like, I think it actually was an outhouse.
What is with these 60s and 70s movies just mistreating grandparents so badly? Where that's his his living quarters.
Maybe
is
it
an
is. That's
outhouse.
his living quarters.
And then fast forward to also another possible tie-in movie of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes,
where all four grandparents live in the same bed.
Right.
What's that? No one ever questioned that.
No,
They're just like, oh yeah,
freaks me out. That's weird.
Could you imagine your parents and your in-laws living in the same bed?
No, that would be...
we've all been poor, not that poor.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And and the annoying part to me is that the grandfather gets out of the bed, and it's a big deal that he actually gets out of the bed. And I am annoyed by that, because I'm like, hey, you four people, get out of that bed. Get out of the frickin' bed.
See, I'm annoyed for a different reason.
Why?
How would his legs not be atrophied
well,
at that
I'm
point?
sure that exactly.
How is he like, oh yeah, let's go walk through a factory for 2 hours?
Right.
You've been laying in bed for 40 years, old man.
Laying around doing
nothing. I sit in a car for an hour and a half, and I'm like, my legs don't work anymore.
That is true. I do too. Exactly.
When I drove back from Maryland for 12 hours, I started Googling wheelchairs when I got home.
Wow.
I'm just going to buy one of those wheelchair accessible vans. I'm done after this. I'm sold.
Man.
Not getting out of bed for 40 years?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
So now we've digressed to
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
A possible tie-in, because there is
there's
candy.
No cars in that.
No.
Well, there's a connection. All right, you are getting tired.
No. No. The connection was that there's the candy factory in this movie.
Yes.
Which came out before Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
where they're all dancing.
Yeah, they're dancing and everything's happy.
Look, OSHA would not be happy with that.
Oh God, no. Or
OSHA,
whatever.
The ASPCA, OSHA. Yeah. There's a lot of HIPAA violations.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just throwing out acronyms.
There's a lot of violations.
Right. Well, first of all, the owner of the candy factory, this is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, by the way. Yeah. The owner of the candy factory comes around and just sticks his finger in each of the flavors, and he's like, add a little bit of sugar to that.
Right.
And, if I was that guy working on the machine, I'd be like, dude.
Yeah.
What the heck? First of all, you never washed your hands. Second of all, this is the 1910s, so I'm sure we all have dysentery.
Right.
Or Giardia or whatever's going around at that moment. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Jardiniere.
Yeah, Jardiniere.
Yeah.
I think
No,
I
it
actually
is.
got Giardia, by the way. I think
Really?
I had
You
it.
probably
yeah.
did. You probably did. Well, you've been to Haiti, so.
Well, yeah, and right after I got home,
Yeah.
my stomach never worked for like 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
And then now I like dairy kind of hurts my stomach,
Yeah, that's very
which is
possible
apparently
to
a side effect and lasting issue with Giardia because it ruins the lining of your stomach.
Yeah,
And
did not know
basically,
that.
I'm like
Yeah.
a newborn again.
Wow. All right.
In terms of tolerances for food.
Yeah.
Not in terms of literally anything else because I have aches and pains as a 23-year-old.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, huge violation. And then
Oh,
the
yeah,
dogs come in.
Yeah,
and
the
the
dogs.
Although I did like that tie-in where the dogs stormed the candy factory
Yes.
and they ate all the candy and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Then it's not mentioned for 2 hours.
Not at all. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The entire movie,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe is like 2 hours and 20 minutes
It's
or
a
something.
very long movie. Yeah.
It's long. And then at the end they're like, "Oh, people hate these candies," and the guy's like, "Oh, okay," and he's like,
Yeah.
"But dogs love it, so I'm gonna make you rich."
Right.
And then it's pretty smart. I thought that was a cool ending where
was.
like, "Hey, dogs really like this candy. I'm gonna sign you."
Right.
But I thought it was just funny that the dogs came in, they didn't mention it for
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
And then they wrapped it up at the end.
Right.
so.
And so, how did the guy who owns that factory, who is Truly Scrumptious's dad,
Right.
how did he find where Potter or Potts or whatever Potts lived? And then he's the brigadier general or something of
Potts' dad,
Professor
right?
Potts,
Weren't they like war buddies?
yeah,
or
they're
something?
like war buddies, and they're
So-
playing war when they get back. So I don't know how they'd didn't. It's a small town. How are they not running into
Furthering
each other?
this.
Yeah.
Didn't the guy not put down Potts' name when he gets to the candy factory because the guy said, "Oh, name," and he
Right.
says Whistling Sweets,
Yes.
and so he writes down Whistling
Yeah.
Sweets. And he's like, "Oh no, that's not my name. That's the candy's
Yeah.
name." But then he gets ushered away. So they had no real information on this guy, no ID. I mean, like,
He wasn't fingerprinted. He wasn't biometrically scanned.
yeah, there's no
nothing.
Facebook tracking. There's no Find My Friends of 1910.
Yeah,
There
there
was
wasn't
barely was even telephones.
No, that was right, exactly.
By the way, movie takes place in 1910, but it was filmed in the 1960s.
Yes.
Something we had to figure out. I had to
Yeah,
Google
it
that.
was weird to it was hard to tell what I mean, yeah, okay, it's old-timey.
Yeah.
So we knew that, but it was weird to figure out the era and stuff. But yeah, and then that whole thing about the king trying to kill his wife, that was weird.
Oh yeah. Never
Yeah.
revisited that, did
No,
we?
but he kept there's an entire musical number
About him trying to kill his
about
wife.
him trying to kill his wife, and he's delighted with trying to do
That's what
it.
I love
but he's-
about 60s movies. They're like, trying to kill my wife, trying to kill... whatever. All right, let's
I'm
move on with the
trying
plot
to
here.
kill my wife.
Trying to
It's-
kidnap kids, trying to kidnap... it's fine. It's
It's
whatever.
fine. It's the 60s.
Yeah, the car flies away. It's all good.
I mean, did anyone back then go, yeah, it's the 60s. We're fine. No one's
Yeah,
going
it's
to.
the 60s, baby.
I mean,
baby.
are we going to say this is the 2020s? We could do that,
Oh,
that's
well, we
good.
can't do anything
No,
in
we
the
can't do anything.
2020s.
That's
So,
true.
I mean,
we
can
cannot do.
We can't do it
anything.
because 2020s.
Yeah.
2020s.
Well, do you think?
I'm in a train going by. 2020. Yeah. I'm doing my
And
own
someday-
Foley work now.
You are. That's
Yeah.
very good.
That's my train noise.
Yes, and I think maybe maybe someday we're gonna go in a different direction, and they'll say, "Oh, that was the 2020s."
Yeah,
They
I mean,
could do it then.
hopefully.
You know.
You know what I was thinking about this morning?
What?
Do you think woke people, like people that are like
Yeah.
social justice warriors and stuff,
Mhm.
do you think in the future they're going to be looked at like we look at hippies? Or like your generation looked at hippies, as
Yeah,
these sort of like
it's-
bums, like go get a job, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, kind of. That's already kind of happened with hipsters. I mean,
Yeah,
that-
hipster,
So
yeah.
that whole thing has become interesting because now we're looking back and go, yeah, those are hipsters.
yeah,
It's like, oh, because back in my day in the 60s, we had the hippies. We
Right.
had the hippies.
I'm wondering if like in the future, like movies are gonna make fun of woke people as much as they make fun of hippies.
Probably,
like
yeah.
Fillmore from Cars.
Yes.
Is this like hippie van?
Right.
It's like, save the planet, man. Stuff like that. I wonder if woke people or Karens are going to be like this sort of. By the way, I went to the combination Taco Bell KFC today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And the lady in front of me was driving a 04 to 05
Was her name Karen?
RAV4.
Yeah.
License plate was just Karen.
No.
Just Karen.
Wow.
I was like, how the heck did you get that plate?
Yeah.
And do you regret it this day and age? Because it's obviously been on that car for a very long time before Karen was like weaponized.
Yes.
As like an insult now.
Yeah, I'm sure she didn't.
I saw her pulling out, and she was an old lady, and I'm like, oh man,
just lay on the horn.
Yeah, I threw my whole order at her.
Wow, which is sad because that's
I was very surprised to see just the license plate Karen.
Yeah, that is
like not like there wasn't like a 4 to make the A. Like it was literally just Karen.
So a true vanity plate.
True vanity plate. No like number afterwards. This was Karen.
Exactly. Wow,
1.
she really,
This was patient 0 of Karen. This was the Genesis.
Well, the Genesis.
Yeah.
So she was the original.
That's Karen.
That's
that
the
is
original
the Karen.
That is
I probably
should
have killed her. Just stop other Karens.
You just went all the way. Not like, hey, I should have talked to her, or maybe I should have. No, you were like, I'm just gonna.
Hey man, listen, we're never doing this again. This is way too late. I'm way too tired for this. And we just watched a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
Maybe
Which you'll probably have a dream about tonight, by the way.
Probably.
So,
You know what? I hate YouTube. They just started recommending clips to me last night.
Yes.
iRobot clips. So I started watching a bunch of old iRobot clips.
You love
Not
that.
as scary.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested to watch iRobot again. But then it started recommending me Sin City clips.
Really? Yeah.
That looks like a horrible movie.
Sin City?
It just looks cheesy.
It is
because it's all black and white.
Yeah.
And like it's like cartoonized.
It is a very it's like a modern
film noir.
Yeah, a modern film noir. And it really actually I really like the movie.
I saw the clip. It's Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
You know Elijah Wood?
Yeah.
And all of his limbs are cut off and he's just like staring. Do you remember this scene?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's terrifying.
That was Elijah Wood?
That was Elijah Wood. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense though.
Probably pre Lord of the Rings. No, it's probably like middle of the Lord of the Rings. 2005.
Yeah, because he's like that wiry character that's jumping around and they try and kill him, right?
In Lord of the Rings? Or in Sin City?
Lord of the Rings, no. And that's not really a car movie, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings? No. Middle Earth didn't have a Suzuki Alto in it.
Although
that was an obscure car I just referenced. The Suzuki Alto wasn't even sold here. I've never driven one. They're 3-cylinder turbos.
It is late. Your
you know
brain
what?
is like not firing at all.
No, I was doing research on a Suzuki Vitara today.
Yeah.
Because my friend picked one up, and I might film a Suzuki Vitara. Vitara. Vitara.
Yeah, I've heard of those actually.
I
want to pretend like I didn't know. But
same thing as a Chevy Tracker, which is the same thing as a Geo Tracker.
Oh, the Geo
but actually,
Tracker.
Well, Geo, the name ended in 2000, the name ended in 97, so it switched over to the Chevy Tracker, and then it switched over to the Suzuki Vitara in 2000 or in 98. They started selling whatever. I just had Suzuki on the brain, but Suzuki Alto, I guess, was at the very forefront of my mind. Little 3-cylinder K car from Japan.
Yeah.
Turbo too, and they came all-wheel drive, which is interesting for like an early 90s tiny little hatchback was all-wheel drive.
Yes.
But anyway, Sin City, the Elijah Wood scene where all of his limbs are cut off up against the tree.
It's a family
and he's
film.
just staring.
Family film, yeah.
And he's like almost half smiling as like dogs start eating him.
Yeah. Yes, it's true.
Petrifying.
Dogs do eat him.
Petrifying scene.
It's a really
and the guy's
movie.
like, even in pain, he never said a word or something.
Right, yeah.
Man.
So, yeah, very bizarre.
I've thought about that scene like multiple
movie.
times today.
Yeah.
Like, it's bothering me.
Isn't Jessica Alba in that movie, too, or something like that? I don't know. So.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
YouTube only showed me 2 clips. So I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever YouTube wanted to show me, YouTube showed me.
And I think, you know who's also in that?
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't you dare say it.
Shaquille O'Neal.
I got recommended a Shaquille O'Neal clip.
Did you really?
And it was like from like The Shackening or something, or like
so
some movie he was in with his name.
I
in
don't
the
think
title.
that exists, but it should.
It definitely should.
Oh,
should we
good.
get back on track and
I
talk about
guess
Chitty
so.
Chitty
Maybe.
Bang Bang?
Yeah, I guess that's what we're here for.
Because I can't imagine
Yeah.
we're gonna last much longer.
No, I don't think
My
so. And
sanity is
we're at an hour. So
Are we really?
Yeah,
My
so
sanity is dwindling.
mine too.
So let's get through some trivia, and then I want to reveal the next movie to you. 'Cause I'm very excited
right.
about the
Yeah,
next movie.
good. That's right.
So 7 different chitties were built. Now, I did tell you I found conflicting
Yeah,
trivia
you did.
points
That's
about
the
this.
weird
I
thing.
did do some research.
So we don't really know.
Some people said 6. Some
Yeah.
people said 8. So I just went with the median of 7.
Okay.
Because I'm
All
a
right.
math major.
Yes.
Just kidding. I was comm major. I did
Wow.
1 college math class, got a C, and I got out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
but
not a math guy either. But
I imagine some people counted the just half cut of the car on a trailer as a car.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And the boat and all that.
Yeah. So 7 different chitties were built: a worn out one, a restored one for the flying scenes, one for the water scenes, and 3 partial models for various other scenes.
I wonder too if they include the actual models, like model, like scale models.
I
that they
wonder if
use
the
for
8th one was like a scale model.
Yeah,
of
like
it, or,
right,
or like a
because for the flying scenes and stuff
yeah.
and all that.
So I thought that was interesting. That
It
they,
is interesting.
Again, really low amount of cars. Like the Fast and the Furious had like 80 million cars at the ready.
Yeah.
But what were we going to say?
And I was going to say, didn't you also do some research on a guy who built one?
I didn't. I watched a video. I didn't write anything down, but a guy did build one in Florida.
Yeah.
And it looks. I mean, it's one of the coolest replicas I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's
So
very, very well done.
So YouTube it. I you can't say Google it when it's YouTube, but you can YouTube it.
Yeah, I
and
just
try to-
literally wrote or typed in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car,
Okay.
and that's
I just
what
thought that
came
was
up.
interesting that if anyone really is interested in the car, that they could do that. Go on YouTube, search for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car.
But besides that, the only
Yeah.
reason I said it has a Ford V8 or Ford V6 is because the guy on the YouTube video said that. I couldn't find anywhere else any other mechanical
it's not a
information
lot of,
besides the fact that it had an automatic transmission
Yeah.
and was a Ford V6,
Yeah.
which is interesting because I didn't know that Ford was making V6s in the 60s.
Oh.
The Mustang got a straight 6. The
Oh,
Falcon got a
yeah.
straight 6. Galaxy got a straight 6.
That's
it wasn't
interesting.
a V8. So I don't know how true that is. I don't know if that's true or false.
And you also said about the didn't you say that Disney has one now, or who has the model now? Who actually has that?
Oh,
car?
so we'll
Is
get
that-
into that. We'll
okay,
get into
never
that
mind.
trivia.
Okay, I'm jumping ahead.
Actually, that's my next trivia point. So,
Okay, totally. Yeah.
So this one says, again, from the same website, this one says that there were 6 cars, one of
Mhm.
which was only, but all sources say that there was only one functioning road-going car, the hero car.
The hero car, right?
Which I don't know if we've ever said that on the podcast, but that's typically known as the hero car. Is like the main good one. It gets the most screen time. It's used. That's the good pristine one. And then there's ones that are chopped up, ones that are made to do flips.
Yeah,
and they look from a distance like the hero car, but when you get up to it, usually they have like gutted interiors. And
and that is
stuff.
that is an
that's a good
interesting
term to know.
It is a
hero car.
Hero car is a very good term to know. It's one of those that you will hear when people talk about movie making, and it is something that's fascinating because a lot of people, if they see a car, maybe in an exhibition or something, it's the hero car if you go up to it and it's really complete. And
Right.
a lot of times, like you said, they're gutted out and stuff like that.
And hero cars are actually like 10 out of 10 times they go for the highest amount of money.
Oh, absolutely.
They're
Yeah,
like those.
definitely,
That's
yeah.
like the car to have.
Absolutely. Okay.
So just getting that out there.
Yep.
So one of which was fully functioning and roadworthy. In 1975, it sold at auction for $37,000. 1975. So this was
75.
9 years.
Okay. Well, that's
which is about $181,000 in today's money.
yeah, I could see that.
In a 2011 episode of Hollywood Treasure, Dick Van Dyke got to sit in the hero car for the first time in over 40 years and noted that he could have purchased the car for $30,000 after the movie wrapped.
Really?
So he had the opportunity to buy it for $30,000.
Yeah.
This is funny.
Okay. Here we
the
go.
car was later offered on eBay for $1 million. Later in the episode, the auction was expanded to bidders at the auction house, but failed to receive any bids. After the auction negotiations, the car was sold to Peter Jackson for a reported $805,000.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson directed and produced The Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Which is a funny tie-in. We were talking about...
so, yes, we've come full circle kind of in a
totally
weird
on
way,
accident. I didn't even put two and two together.
Way. Yeah. Interesting.
So this next trivia fact goes off of this. So the current owner of the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car, the hero car, is
Gollum? I don't know. I made that connection, but
it is Peter Jackson though,
Oh.
who producer of Lord of the Rings, and he also did District 9. If you remember that movie.
I remember the movie, but I didn't know he did it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He could be seen near the WETA workshop in New Zealand. So the car resides in New Zealand, which is where Peter Jackson lives.
I have a friend in New Zealand, but yeah.
Cool. Super cool.
That's like a really.
Do you want to talk more about it?
No,
I've always wanted to go to New Zealand.
Yeah,
New Zealand looks amazing.
Yeah.
But he could be seen driving cast members around the Hobbit films in the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car.
That is awesome. That is so
playing
awesome.
the main theme song through the speaker system of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So this guy's literally living the fantasy of he bought the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car and is driving people around on the Hobbit set listening to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I think that's awesome. I think it's really cool. I would love to have.
He was not able to get the Gen 11 license plate.
No,
but he got Gen 1L or Gen 1I. So it looks right, but it's a legally registered car.
Is it?
Yeah. He drives it around. I mean that's really cool. It's said online. I didn't write it down here, but he uses it for charity events.
Oh, great!
Which is great.
That's very awesome. So my respect for him, just knowing that is way up. Because that's such a cool thing to do.
Yeah, and I mean, like the guy's got he bought it for $805,000.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So just super cool that it's owned by like a fellow filmmaker. Like it's still in the industry. I want to say, it's not some dude in Plano, Texas. Like, it's my car. I just want to keep it in the garage. It's actually owned by like someone who has full appreciation of it.
And we've talked about that too. There are people that are car owners that literally lock away their cars, and that to me is very depressing.
Yeah,
that people would
even
do
like
that.
I even get depressed that like museums that don't drive the cars, they're just showpieces. Like that's sad, but also I respect that more for preservation.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Like
but
a guy who just has a garage full of cars and says no one can look at them, like that's sad to me.
That is why when we take the Model A to any kind of car we can't do it. We haven't done it lately, but when we take it to a car show, one of the main things we do that is so fun is we literally open up the doors and we let people get in it and honk the horn and sit in it and just get to feel what it's like to sit in a Model A, because to me that's the most fun part of that car is sharing it with other people.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I guess.
And that was the cool thing about the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car that the guy built.
Yes,
he was talking.
Exactly,
that was the cool thing that he was talking about. He's like, let's get sit in it. They, they play the music, they take the pictures and stuff.
Right, which
that's
is great.
That's cool.
Yes, it is very cool.
Moving on here with some trivia from I forgot to mention this last few episodes. These trivia facts come from IMDb, but are in no way sponsored by IMDb. If they're wrong, I don't know, blame someone else on the internet.
Yeah, and
just
then
not me.
But if IMDb wants to sponsor,
but if IMDb wants to sponsor this podcast,
we'll throw that out. Whoever wants to sponsor,
we're looking for sponsors. Yeah. But the colors of the floating chitty, which is purple, green, and white, were the colors of the women's suffrage movement of the time. So I thought that was a cool little tie-in. Yeah, that actually the colors of the flotation device actually had meaning for the time.
Interesting. Very, very interesting, yeah.
And then the last one for the cars. I have 3 non-car trivias that I like.
All right.
But one of the cars is on display at the National Motor Museum in Southampton, UK.
Oh, cool.
So and then
Yeah.
apparently there's another one in Orlando. I believe the
Okay, yeah.
flying version was in Orlando.
Yeah.
So I would
Which
love
is-
to check that out if I do
yeah.
end up making it down to Florida this summer.
That would be very cool. And you wonder because, like you said, I think who has the Bluesmobile that's not even a Dodge Monaco? You had said that before. It is a Bluesmobile, but they used a different car.
Oh yeah, I forget.
I think Universal has it, right?
Oh
And it's-
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
not
but
even a
it's
Dodge
like
Monaco.
yeah.
It's like another vehicle close.
Yeah,
similar one.
something.
Anyway,
Of the
but
I mean, all those big body Dodge products were the same. But yeah. But no, one of the actual screen used ones is at the National Motor Museum in Southampton, UK. And then there's the flying one was down in Florida. So.
okay, that's cool. Yeah,
I just thought
I'd
it
love
was
to
neat.
see one of those. Yeah.
So now,
Okay,
I just love these so
okay.
much.
All
These
right.
are non-car
Non-car related.
These are
Okay.
all Dick Van Dyke related.
Okay, all right.
Shout out Dick Van Dyke.
All right, shout out to you.
Trucking along.
Hey, Craig.
And Craig Lieberman.
Craig.
So Lionel Jeffries. So he played.
Lionel Jeffries.
I'll just read it here.
Yeah.
Lionel Jeffries played Dick Van Dyke's father, despite being the fact that Dick Van Dyke is actually 6 months older than Jeffries.
Wow.
So
yeah.
that's just the written.
Movie magic
Yeah.
right there.
Well, he does look significantly older.
He does look older than him.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
it's
Dick Van
amazing.
Dyke just looked young. Dick Van Dyke would have
Eh,
been.
Dick Van Dyke always looked young, I think.
He would have been like mid-30s, 40s at this point.
Yeah, but still, he
Yeah.
kind of always looked young.
Kind of like Burt Reynolds always looked 40.
Yeah,
Even when
weird.
he was 20, he
Right.
looked 40.
Yeah.
But when he was like 70, he looked
yeah.
40.
Yeah, it's really
so
weird.
he was just eternally stuck at 40.
I think when he was born, his baby pictures, he
Yeah,
looks like
he looks 40.
Yeah.
This one is my favorite one, and
Okay.
genuinely made me laugh out loud when I read it.
Okay.
So Dick Van Dyke found the dance numbers very demanding.
Sure.
Dick Van Dyke
Yeah.
was known for smoking up to 40 cigarettes a day.
What?
40 cigarettes a day.
So that's 2 packs.
Yeah.
A 2-pack smoker. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So, of course he thought that they were demanding. The man couldn't breathe. He was taking in 40% oxygen. This made me crack up because this is how it reads. I switched it around for dramatic effect, but it says Dick Van Dyke, who was smoking up to 40 cigarettes a day, found the dance numbers very demanding.
Wow. The bamboo
Yeah.
cane, the bamboo cane.
I mean,
no, the bamboo
So this
cane.
whole time, I
Yeah.
didn't tell you this trivia fact till just
That was
now,
a song,
but the
by
whole
the way.
movie, I'm just imagining him dancing with the kids and then just ripping cigarettes, like
Yes.
freaking darts in the corner, just
Yeah,
going.
one draw, and
Yeah.
he does an entire cigarette in one draw.
Yeah,
He just-
I'm sure, like the old Tom and Jerry cartoons.
yeah, exactly, right.
But last trivia fact.
Okay, alrighty.
According to Dick Van Dyke, director Ken Hughes hated children, and Van Dyke would often have to tell him to stop cursing in front of the child actors. I thought this was so
Oh my
funny.
gosh. Well, and that's it's funny too. We mentioned a lot of different actors, but one we missed that reminds me of is Benny Hill.
Oh yeah, Benny Hill's in this
Hill
movie.
is in this movie, and it's amazing to me to
He's
see
like
him
this
in it.
humble little toy
Yeah,
maker that
exactly.
ends up partially saving the day.
Exactly. And if you know the Benny Hill, if not, go back YouTube it, and all of that. But Benny Hill is to me, it's one of the things that I actually grew up with. Totally not PC. Oh my gosh, really, pretty much the opposite of PC. But yeah, he does play a very significant role in the movie.
I just
so
thought
very-
that was so fun. But, well,
is.
Another trivia fact was the fact that the director, after the movie was all said and done, hated the movie.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
you
the first
mentioned
time
that-
I've read
right.
something like that where dude, you were the director.
Yeah.
That's like getting
Right.
mad. Like if you make a dish and it's terrible and being like, oh, who made this? You, dude. You made it. You're the guy.
It's like saying I hate veal. You made the veal.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. That is true. That would be. I think.
I understand an actor's perspective,
yeah.
oh, they cut it differently and I
Well,
didn't like
right.
it, or someone who's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can use my song, and then they use the song as like the bad guy's theme song, and they're like, oh,
right,
that's not
and,
great.
or someone who writes a book and they do a movie and they say, "Oh, I hate the movie."
100%.
So
But
I
the
get
director
But the
I mean,
director
that's like-
himself going, yeah.
That's like, oh, why is my car in this lake? Oh, I'm the driver of it. I put it there. Come on.
Well, it is true, and that is a very bizarre statement for someone to say that they hated the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand if you were to say, it's probably my least favorite
Yeah, of
movie that I
course.
directed, but to say I
Yeah.
hated the movie,
What?
it's like, okay,
I
what the
like
heck?
the idea. Again, there's no truth behind this, but maybe there's a little bit of truth.
Right.
I like the
There's
idea
always
of
a
he's
little bit
like
of truth
if
behind
he
it.
watched the movie and he's like, too many kids in this movie. Just hating children so hard.
Maybe he came up with that whole idea of a city with no kids.
You're right. Maybe this was like his miracle, like, and they're like,
It
hey,
was really
hey Hughes,
Yeah.
you can't mass genocide the kids at the end
Right.
of the movie.
right. Yeah.
Fine. We'll let him have the car at the end of the movie. I hate these
Well,
little guys anyway.
Which is amazing because there are actually a lot of kids, especially at the end of the movie. There's a lot of kids in the movie. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Man, this
imagine.
is probably hell for him.
He was probably like, yeah, let's just do this quick. Or he had the B unit. He had a different unit. Shoot
Little known
all the
fact,
good
he was smoking 80 cigarettes a day. He was a 4-pack man. Dick Van Dyke was trying to get him to slow down. Just stressed out, like, I got to work with these kids.
I'm sure he was doing lines of coke.
Oh. Well, did the
I throw
60s
that
have
out.
Coke?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know anything about cocaine and all that stuff. I got to watch some movies and find out.
Yeah, I didn't think cocaine was a thing until like the 70s or 80s. but-
It was probably like an 8. Well, I think it was probably an 80s.
They had
thing.
morphine, though. They had the morphine,
maybe it was morphine, yeah.
surplus from the war.
True.
Learned
true.
that through a video game.
Really?
Yeah,
All right.
L.A. Noire. Fantastic video game. Do you remember that game? It was...
Was that the one where you drove around a car and you got to beat up people?
There's so many games that could be. No, this was you are a detective
right.
in Los Angeles in the 1940s.
Yes, I think I've played that game.
If I had all the time in the world, I would go back and I would play that game through end to end.
Yeah, it is cool, though.
Fantastic game. And you work your way up through homicide.
Yeah.
And
you actually can hear, like, radio. Like, they had, like, old ads and stuff. And
Yes.
as you listen to the radio.
yes.
That I found really cool. I like driving around.
It was one of the
And,
first games that they used, like, they put the actors into this box, essentially.
Yeah.
And they put dots all over their faces.
Yeah,
and actually,
true,
like that game came out in, I want to say, like 2008, and the faces are very realistic.
Yeah.
And it was also cool because you could walk into a crime scene, and then they're like, "Hey, find clues."
Right.
So you just walked up to stuff and like
Right.
see if you could like touch it,
Right.
and then like it was like inspect. It was like, and then the best thing
Yeah.
was you could interrogate people.
Oh, yeah, that's
and you could
right.
be like, okay, yeah. It gave you
Yeah.
3 options always.
Yeah.
It was say no,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Yeah.
or X for the Xbox.
Yeah.
The button X was doubt. And
Doubt.
or 9 times out of 10 would throw the criminal into like a tizzy. You'd be like, well, I don't, like you'd start doubt. Like if you just kept hitting doubt,
Really?
the character would get so pissed off.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Wow.
But
Okay.
such
yeah,
a great
that's very,
video
very cool.
game.
Very, very cool.
Such
yeah.
a great video game. And
Mhm.
that was one of the games where it takes place in the 40s. Great cars in that
Yes,
game.
great car.
They're-
I was gonna say
They're
great
fictional
cars, maybe,
cars.
but great cars.
Great cars, and that was one of the last games where there was like hidden cars, like they're
Yeah,
in like the
that's true. You
driver
could-
games or old Grand Theft Auto. Like I used to go online and it was like if you pull up to this certain garage, it'll open and there's this like special car inside.
Yeah, that's fun
LA
stuff.
Noire had that,
Yeah,
but we're
that's
getting
fun
way
stuff.
sidetracked.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's to be
are we-
expected at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly. And it's what time is it? It's 11:30. And
Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
it's actually Happy St. Patrick's Day. To
Oh
break the
yeah,
mold.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
You're listening to this June 5th.
Oh, yeah?
I think, or 8th. I don't know.
Ah, whatever.
Some day.
Doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Who
Nothing's
cares about today?
real.
Hey, it's St. Patrick's Day every day.
It's
Every
for
day.
the
Yeah,
Irish.
For
it
the
is.
Irish, it is. Yeah.
Final thoughts on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I enjoyed it, and actually, I was going to throw this out: would you turn the channel?
Yeah.
We go back to that where, that's kind of our I don't know, our little thing about okay, if this came on, would you turn the channel?
Yeah.
Again, for you, yeah.
Yes.
You obviously would turn the channel. I actually probably would turn the channel too, believe it or not. I actually would probably turn the channel because I think, I'm not a big fan of the musicals of that era, especially, except for, Sound of Music's cool, but not a lot of cars. Not enough cars.
Here's the thing.
So, yeah.
I neither of us have nostalgia with this movie.
Not really, no.
We didn't
No,
grow up watching this movie.
I mean, I'd seen it.
I read the comments of the YouTube videos I was watching about the guys who built the cars and the replicas and stuff, and people were like, I still have this soundtrack. I listen to it every week. Like, I grew up with this movie. Like, such good memories of this movie. I used to watch this movie with my grandparents, and now that they passed, like, I love seeing the cars and stuff.
No, it's not us.
I don't care.
I know, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people listening because there's going to be a ton of people listening to this.
Thousands.
But
Thank you.
Yeah, but probably
we're actually moving from our current studio. We're actually moving it to a larger
to
airplane
Pinewood
hangar.
Studios. Yeah. Let's give a throwback to a lot of this was filmed. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. A lot of it was filmed at Pinewood Studios in London, which is the same studios where they filmed James Bond. Again, wrapping that all together. So that was another James Bond tie-in. But yes.
But yeah,
so
I would change the channel.
I would change the channel actually because
Chitty Chitty, shut up! Like, they're just going on too long.
Chitty Chitty,
stop
bite
singing. Stop singing.
Stop it. Well, that was the thing is every time they started singing, you and I would just start talking about something because it was literally like okay, come on, get on, outside? Come on,
What's the weather like?
Come on.
What are you doing the rest of
the
Come
on. That's
because like and you can feel it as soon as like the music comes in. You're like, oh, this is 7 minutes of my life just gone.
Yeah, and it's usually
that's the other thing is that the musical numbers are way too long.
Yeah,
two verses, 2 choruses, and a reprise. That's it.
Guess,
that's it. That's all you need.
I guess the thing would be like if you did a modern version.
Yeah,
it would be like, I'm gonna go over there, boom, and done. Yeah. Like you would be.
This isn't a Grateful Dead concert. Right. We're not expecting like 90-minute songs.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It. And it was such a long movie that in the theaters you would have had that intermission. People would have gone out and got popcorn and stuff, and then come back.
Yeah, would have gone to the soda pop.
Yeah, they would have gone to the concession stand and got the hot dog and popcorn and things. It definitely actually a movie that I would probably turn the channel just because of the I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't even have like it on when I'm cooking. I would just it bothers me.
If it was on while I was cooking, I would just stop cooking. I would lose my appetite.
Wow. There's a couple movies
I honestly
that
think
hate.
that this is the worst movie we've reviewed.
Are you serious?
Here's the thing, though.
Gosh.
This is the first movie that we've watched together and then immediately filmed.
Yes. True.
And I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Don't think we should do it in the future.
Yeah,
but at least let's start earlier. We put the movie in at like 9.
Yeah.
Which was our own
way
personal
too
fault.
Late. Right. Yeah. It was late.
So I enjoyed that portion of it, and I enjoyed
that was fun.
Talking shit with you, but like
especially during the songs because I didn't want to watch the songs. We were like,
what else were we supposed to do? Like I
just
refreshed my Instagram feed so much that like there's no new content.
Well, no, and we were talking about some of the trivia even while we were watching the movie because
there's just nothing else to do.
No, and some of the songs are very, very boring, and I'm sure some people are gonna be like, oh, how can you say that? But
I grew up with that.
Well, it's fine. That's great. I mean, if you like that stuff, it's great. But
whatever's embedded in your childhood trauma, that's up to you. This personally wasn't. Fast and Furious was, and maybe like I could say that me enjoying Fast and Furious so much is a bias because it was such a part of my childhood.
I think the Fast and the Furious was a great musical.
No, not at all. But it did have great music in it.
It did have great music.
Ooh, Click Click Boom. The song Click Click Boom.
Yeah.
Whoo!
Man,
if you are driving and you turn on Click Click Boom, wow. I mean, you are getting a ticket that day. I tell you what.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Such a great song. Look it up. Read a book.
Read a book.
Yeah.
No one reads a book anymore.
I'll give you my MP3 player. You can listen to it.
Yes.
You
you still have that MP3 player. You have an MP3 player on the
yeah.
ground.
I know.
Outside
yeah.
it's really weird. It's like it's not the Rio because it was the river, wasn't it? The river.
Ooh, I don't know.
Anyway, the MP3
I
players.
remember
Love
that
the
one.
MP3 players.
I remember having that, and there was a James Bond song on it.
Was there?
And I remember walking around the house just aimlessly as like an 8-year-old.
Probably,
listening to my MP3 player.
Yeah.
And it was
because we just abandoned you as parents.
It had
we
like
just
that
let
like
you go do
yeah.
anything.
It had that like clicking noise at the beginning. I'm gonna be yes and no.
That is
I'm
the
gonna...
Madonna. That is the Madonna Die Another Day.
Oh, that was Die Another Day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Day,
that sounds
Madonna,
right.
Yeah. And
and I remember I used to walk around the house with my headphones in, this little silver MP3 player in my pocket.
Yeah.
And
that was not an iPod or anything like that, but it was an actual
I'm gonna see if that thing will power up.
Yeah, you should. I think it's actually battery powered.
I
don't know.
Ooh,
battery powered.
How'd you even load stuff onto that?
I think there was a. Was it
got Spotify, Pandora? What is it?
No. Oh my gosh, the stuff didn't exist. I think there was a. Wow, that's a good question. There was a way to connect it to your computer. I think it was USB. I think it was USB.
What, USB like 0.5?
Yeah, it was like half. It wasn't even like a full
negative
version.
A or whatever. They're on C now.
It's not even a full version of the USB protocol. But it was, I think that was, you could plug it in. It had like the standard D version of the.
Oh, yeah.
And then you could plug it into your computer. And then you had the application where you could actually take, unlike, other players where you cannot use it on anything else. MP3s were great at the time because you could take an MP3 and put it on anything.
Yeah.
Which was great. But so you love musicals. I think we've come to that conclusion that you love musicals.
I do like, here's the thing.
There are certain musicals that I really do enjoy, though.
I love The Producers.
Yeah, that's a fun movie. That's
such a good movie with Matthew Broderick and the other guy. And
wow, Nathan Lane. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Yeah.
It's so late in the night that my brain is now like.
My brain is worth nothing but musical knowledge. Which is pretty low battery. But I saw The Producers in person.
Well, you saw the Broadway show, right? Or not the Broadway show, but the show, right?
Yeah, it wasn't on Broadway. It was
no, but I mean, okay, so you saw the play.
It was a local, not a local. Well, it was a local production, but it was
by third graders.
Yeah, the Springtime for Hitler, sung by Jimmy in the third grade. Right. He just passed the spelling bee.
Right.
Now he's singing about
Right. There you go.
Fantastic movie, fantastic musical, super fun to see in person.
Yeah, I mean that
it was just
it's a great fun movie
because it's who created that? Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks. Wow, we said that at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was
such a solid. But besides that,
and the original was great too. I mean, the original, and then you had the remake, and then you had the Broadway or the Broadway play.
I'm gonna be honest here.
Yeah,
and
there's no cards in that movie though.
Yes, there is.
Is there?
In The Producers?
Yeah.
The girl gets out of the Rolls Royce.
Okay.
And if you got it, flaunt it, and then they write the whole song off that. She's getting out of a Rolls Royce.
That's right. You got it. You got it.
Belle, if you're listening, turn off. I cannot stand Hamilton.
Really?
Yeah.
I am surprised, although I've never seen or heard one tiny little bit of Hamilton.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not listening.
First of all, it's like 18 hours.
Do not make me watch that.
It's kind of catchy.
No.
But my irritation with it is there's not a single talking portion in between songs.
Really?
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of musicals have talking portions in between.
Oh, absolutely.
Where it's like, hey, what's up? Blah, 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 la-di-da, and then they sing, and then they come back and they're like,
more of a
so anyway.
It's more of a rock opera, because operas is like...
There's not a single normal scene. Yeah. And Bella was like, that's what musicals are. And I'm like, no, it's not.
That's an opera.
There are certain musicals where it's like talking, singing.
That's one of them operas.
Yeah.
So, I think it's...
Can't stand Hamilton.
I have never seen Hamilton. I've never heard of Hamilton. I don't know who Hamilton was. Makes a good coffee maker, Hamilton Beach.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shout
so,
out.
Yeah.
Shout out to our sponsor, Hamilton Beach.
No, and I'm sure people will be like, oh, I can't believe you don't see Hamilton. Well, I will probably watch it someday or whatever, but I cannot imagine.
Hey, you know what?
What? Any cars in there?
I was about to say it. I was gonna say no cars. No cars in Hamilton.
Wow.
Yeah.
No cars.
How stupid is that? Yeah.
There should have been something, like a I don't know.
What, a Studebaker? Come on,
Like
now.
a-
What are we
I don't
talking
know.
about?
There should be a car that's like the Jackson or something. I think the Jackson would be.
It's a
Because
decent
there's
name.
Lincoln, there's Ford, all the presidents. There's Lincoln. There was a
Lincoln, Ford. What else you got? What?
There was a Washington. The
What? You're just making stuff up.
I think it was no. What? There's been other cars. Cadillac. President Cadillac.
No. No. You know what?
Yeah.
There was a Trump limo.
Was there?
Back in the 80s, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln did a Trump trim level of a limo, and it
Yeah.
came with like Donald Trump badges on the side,
Yeah.
and I think it came with a wine cooler in the back or something, and like the different leather. But
I remember the Eisenhower RX-7.
wow,
That
yeah,
was a good
built our highway system actually.
Right.
Actually,
Yeah.
Eisenhower would be a good trim leveler package because he pioneered the highway system.
Actually, that is, actually I think that's kind of a cool name, the Eisenhower.
I mean,
it's like
Granted, he was like, yeah, we need to be able to move military stuff.
Yeah,
and
well,
like,
there's
nowadays
that.
we're like, I just
Yeah,
want to
there's
do
that.
80 miles an hour.
right. There's that.
But
Where's-
Eisenhower.
Where's the
kinda-
Autobahn in the
We
United
need one.
States?
Montana, the whole state. Who cares? You know,
United States needs
if
an
you live in
Autobahn.
Montana, ugh,
Well-
you know what I mean?
Wow. Well, I like Montana. I like
Never been.
I like Utah, Montana, and Wyoming because
I thought you were gonna say I like Montana and you, and I was like, that's the only two
No.
things you
no,
like.
I don't like. No, I don't like you.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I'm such a great dad.
What if we just broke down and just had like a father-son like counseling
Wow,
session?
that
just,
would
like,
be
during Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
we should do that. We should have where we watch a movie
mediary.
and then we have a counselor that comes in, a
Yeah, like
therapist
a
that comes in and
relational
talks to us. It
counselor.
says, okay, so
Yeah.
what makes you feel that
I hate
how do, you,
musicals.
how do you feel about musicals?
I hate musicals.
Okay. Tell
Now,
me.
how do we work through that?
How do you see that? Is
Yeah.
that and why do you
use
feel
your
the way
I
you
messages?
do?
I feel this. I think that. That's what we were taught in high school.
Yeah.
Use your I messages.
I messages.
I feel like this.
Yeah, I thought it
I think
sucked.
this.
That's what I would say. That's what I would be.
You know what? I
That would
hate
be-
I hate musicals.
Wow, wow. No, there's so of the movies. I mean, I've only not liked
Is
one
there
of them.
Anything worse than this movie that
Wow.
we've done so far?
Yeah, I mean, for me,
You-
it was Gumball Rally.
Really? That's
Yeah.
your zero?
Yeah, I mean, I really
Interesting.
didn't like that movie.
What's
There
our
wasn't-
best?
There wasn't enough songs in Gumball Rally. There was no.
Yeah.
What's our best?
Yeah. I'm wondering if we agree because I have a best.
You have a best so far? or-
Yeah, so far
far.
of our 7 episodes, I
And
have a
growing.
best.
Yeah. What?
And growing fast.
Yeah.
Cars.
Cars, really?
Yeah, going back and watching Cars with like adult eyes,
Yeah.
it was very because as a kid I never appreciated the amount of work that went into that movie. It was just like another animated movie. It might have been it could have been Paw Patrol for all I cared.
Paw Patrol.
You know what Paw Patrol is? Ooh, it's a new kids
Oh.
show that's like sweeping the nation.
Is
It's
it?
it's like
them kids and their YouTubes and their
no, it's like
and their
like
Facebooks
dog.
and-
It's like dogs. It's like Cars but dogs. Like it's a dog society.
okay.
If that makes
I'll
sense.
take your word for it. Any cars in there?
I
Okay.
don't. There's a police dog,
If
so
there's-
like
is it a musical?
no, it's not. Thank God.
Okay. No, I think it's really hard for me because I really love the movie Cars, but I also
Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers. It's just to me, it's so ingrained in me. So I have to still stick with that. With Blues Brothers.
yeah. I just
But
think
Cars is
Cars
a
was so
deficit.
iconic that
Yeah, I actually. Yeah, exactly.
American made, but yeah.
I would actually we talked about. Would you? Because I don't think we talked about that in that movie. But would you turn the channel?
God no.
No,
I'd
I
turn
wouldn't.
it up.
No,
Especially
I wouldn't. I would
when,
actually stop doing whatever
when
I was
Life
doing.
is a Highway comes on,
Yeah.
forget about whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
I could be getting married, and if someone's
Wow.
playing, if there's
All
like
right,
if there's like a Chrysler Pacifica going by and a kid's
Yeah.
watching Cars in the back,
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna be
just
like,
stop.
honey,
Yeah.
wait.
You're just gonna stop.
Life is a highway,
Life is.
and I want to ride it all night long. All right, don't you ever forget.
Wow.
And I'll come back, and I'll be
Why don't
wearing.
you just write that in your vows? That's good for you.
I have prepared my vows.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah.
Life is a
Life is
highway.
a highway. I want to
ride it all night long. All night long.
It's just you're gonna actually do the full refrain.
I do the chorus
the
too.
chorus.
I do the echo.
Um,
If you want it
you're
my
going
way,
back- All right,
I want to ride it
all night long.
all night long.
All night.
All night long.
And you do the whole thing for your.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And you write that out. Da 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 da.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
I think that's.
I think I would get left at the altar.
I think that's sweet. I think that's romantic and sweet. I think, that you probably would be left at the altar.
Yeah.
That would be. That would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it really is. I'd have to say that it's definitely the second. Like Blues Brothers. If it was on, I would stop what I'm doing and go watch it. If Cars was on, I would stop and go watch it. But a lot of the other movies, I wouldn't. I would just kind of keep it on.
Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious, I actually wouldn't watch it, but I would keep it on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't turn the channel. I wouldn't, because I do enjoy that movie.
Yeah.
I did like the movie, but it's not something that I would sit down and get into.
So are you ready for the next movie?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready
Here
for the
we
next
go.
movie. I've been curious about this. I know you went out and got this, so this is going to be very
I
interesting.
actually didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't find anything
Wow.
out and about, and I was so pissed.
Okay, all right.
I was fully ready to rebuy this movie.
All right. It's not going to be a musical, is it?
No, thank God. Although it has awesome music in it.
Okay, good.
Oh my God, does it have awesome
Yeah.
music in it? Are you ready?
So did you take it from our library?
Boom!
Oh, my gosh.
Transformers.
Transformers.
The 2007 Transformers with Shia LaBeouf.
Wait.
What?
Is this the original one?
This is the
Transformers?
first
Okay, so that's the first one.
Well, this is the first live action.
Okay.
Transformers was a very popular cartoon in the 80s.
I know. I
Okay.
watched it. I mean, I was.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
I definitely watched it. I knew a lot
I don't know
about
if you knew it, but
Yep,
this was
yep,
the
yep,
first
yep, yep.
time we saw lifelike Transformers.
Right.
It wasn't some guy named... Yeah.
I'm making the Transformer sound.
Couple reasons I wanted to watch this one.
Yeah.
First of all, tons of cars.
Yeah, there are.
Obviously,
There.
because
That's
the
right.
robots
'cause
are cars.
right.
Second of all,
Combining your two favorite things, robots and cars.
Ugh, I hate
I know.
eight robots.
Okay, so the robots and cars, Transformers. This is the movie we're gonna watch.
Also,
Wait, where did you get this then?
I found it in my room. So
Great.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
I went out to Walmart today, fully expecting to pay like $10 or whatever to
Yeah.
find Transformers.
Yeah.
They only had Transformers 3: Dark of the Moon,
All
which is my second favorite Transformers movie because it takes place in Chicago.
right. I never saw it. Never
Um,
saw it.
Let me tell you, I cannot tell you a single thing that happened in the second Transformers movie,
Really?
and I've never seen the 4th, 5th, or 6th.
There's that many?
Yes, there is.
Oh
and
my
there's also a
gosh.
Bumblebee spinoff.
Wow.
Anyway,
Bumblebee actually is on Prime, I think.
I think so too. Well,
It's on
okay,
Netflix
so I
or
was
Prime.
watching Dark of the Moon is on Prime,
Mm-hmm.
the third Transformers. So I started watching that, and then I was like, oh, man, I kind of want to watch the first one. What? Why are you laughing?
No, because Moon. That's going back to American Graffiti. There's a scene where they moon a guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Anyway,
So I went out to Walmart, didn't find it. I was
because
the-
I am 5 years old, by the way.
I know.
like
There's a just
Funny.
like in the movie, I'm actually older than you in real
Yeah,
life.
that's true.
Yeah,
It's somehow
it's
that's
crazy.
bizarre. It's weird.
So I went out to Walmart
you went-
fully expecting to buy
Yes,
Transformers again.
exactly.
Didn't find it. And there was one movie that I really want to get, but it's like $25, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Nah," you know.
All right.
Even though we have both bought Teslas and studio space in Studio City, California,
Let's get
and
this
we
thing.
also
All right,
are
then-
in the process of buying a G4 private jet.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, two too because we
right.
have to.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to ride on the same. What are we, poor? We're going to ride on the same private jet. But I think I will not shell out $25 for Ford versus Ferrari.
Hey, I would. I would put that in our budget. Hey, we've already we actually do have a budget here.
I mean,
we've blown the budget.
The millions we've spent.
We've blown the budget already, but that's okay.
It's like $2.99 to rent on Amazon or something.
Oh,
so
okay.
I figured we
just
do that.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so I go home all sad and depressed, and I bought some cool Oreos. And then that's not important to the story at all. But then I was like, you know what?
Oreos are delicious.
I was like, I don't have a movie for tonight to introduce to you.
Yeah.
So I have a stack of movies on my desk that I got together for this exact purpose.
Yeah,
what?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And so I was like, you know what? I'll just pick from that movie stack of some other car movie. And then right on top was Transformers.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so
that worked out well.
Boom.
What I was going to ask you is, did you find Too Fast, Too Furious? Because I know we have it somewhere.
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, I've known where that was.
Okay,
I just can't find any of the other ones. I don't know where Tokyo Drift is. I have the 4th one and I have the 7th one.
Okay.
So I have 2, 4, and 7 in my room.
Oh, okay. We and by the way, we have all of our movies are really in one area, but it's funny because I can never find the movies that I'm looking for. But so next movie, Transformers 2007. 2007.
Bumpin' soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Most of it's done by Linkin Park.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
This is the quintessential Transformers movie. One of my favorite movies growing up. Definitely very mystical, sort of, because this is very humble in terms of a Transformers movie. I mean, the kid's a teenager.
Right.
He's looking to buy his first car.
Yeah, I get you.
He's a high school student.
Yeah.
And it takes place in basically suburbia. I mean, I think it's California, but it's, he just lives in this little suburban house. It's not like anything big. Where in the third movie, he has this $1 million penthouse in New York and.
Oh, really?
It seems rather I could associate.
Okay, you
with
just
Sam
spoiled
Witwicky.
it for me. I'm not gonna watch it now that you told me. I'm just kidding.
But anyway, the other thing I want to mention with Transformers, is that I didn't realize it till later, but GM had a heavy influence over this movie.
Right.
I think
all
of the good guys are GM products.
Yeah.
And I think the bad guys.
All the bad guys are Yugos. It's really weird. It's how they did that. It was
they're Yugos and apparently Suzuki Altos. To bring it all full circle. But I'm super excited about this movie.
All right, yeah.
If it wasn't 12 o'clock right now, I would watch it. But,
it is pretty close to that. But
that's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yes, it is.
Chitty Chitty, shut up. Chitty Chitty, stop singing.
It was a cool car. I mean, like I say, I didn't hate it as much as you did.
No, it was a cool car. Wish I saw it more.
Yeah.
Wish I saw it more.
That would be a cool, I don't know.
Spin-off?
No, it would be, if you were going to remake Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and make it that period piece, but really make it about the car and really make it about, centered around that. Because, you have movies like Herbie the Love Bug. You have movies like that really were pretty much focused on the car, this magical car that could do things. That's very similar to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but they were a little bit more focused on the car. But there always was this other story about people in love and blah, 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 whatever. So
more car, less singing.
Yeah, like Herbie the Love Bug, no singing that I recall.
Yeah, great music, though.
Yeah, no, it is
great music.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
it is
Herbie the Love Bug. Oh, the music in that movie just makes me so happy.
No.
It's almost
Do you
like
remember that?
I watched Herbie the Love Bug a month ago. It's on Disney Plus.
No. Okay. Well,
it's on Disney.
Okay,
so this wasn't a month ago. This was.
All right. Well, so next time we're going to do the Transformers, and then I have to come up with one, so that's going to be an interesting
Which,
thing.
honestly, my schedule's pretty free tomorrow, so if you want to record tomorrow, we can just knock these things out.
Well, yeah, I think the listeners are getting a behind the scenes.
Sorry, am I talking too much inside baseball?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey guys, we don't wake up extra early on Saturdays to record this to get it out.
Yeah, we do. It's
a
Wednesday.
Tell them.
don't tell them our secrets.
Yeah.
Behind the screens or behind the curtains here. So that's pretty much it. And do you have any other final thoughts?
No, I'm getting seriously delirious.
I know, me too.
I was up
it's
at
getting
6 this morning,
and I've got to get
midnight. It's actually midnight on the dot.
Is
Look
it?
at that.
Well,
magic.
As our Spanish friends say, en punto. It's
wow, multicultural.
Yeah. So 12 o'clock en punto. So that's about it. And you can just take us out. Because
What?
Because you can do the tag because you
I
always
fell
do a
asleep.
tag. You probably would fall asleep right now, but you have to do the.
What?
Yeah, you have to do the end
thank you guys
tag.
so much for listening to the Unnamed Movie Car Podcast. Shut up, more car.